Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body and keep your back straight and neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes for ourselves to understand how this meditation can help for us to develop our inner awareness. So, our main purpose is giving basic tools for yourself to build up a very good, clear, solid spiritual foundation for your own practice. So when it comes to meditation, in the beginning, we have to be very clear. So the meditation we can't teach because it is a more different way of understanding. Even though on the practice point of view, we bring the word called teachings, really, no one can teach the life or the reality or the understanding. No one can give the wisdom hand to hand. Only thing that we can share the method. Then by practicing yourself, you have to gain it. And when it comes to our life, so far we came on this journey and still we are in the samsara because we used to learn. We used to accumulate, used to gain hold into certain kind of believing methods, system, dogmas. So kind of like that. So the practicing meditation also should not be another kind of dogma or another kind of believing or another kind of practice. Because this is the method, it's going to rescue your mind itself and free your mind from it. But our very nature as human beings, we always like to follow something and we like to give up ourselves. We always like to depend on something. We always like to become a prisoner. That is the worst thing can happen to you. So then as example, just imagine there is a bird. You catch the bird and then you put it to the cage. So then by the time you train this bird to go a little bit out and come back, go a little bit out and come back. And then little by little, the bird start to become more comfortable with the cage rather than this outside. So then what happens? Even you release the bird to outside, it doesn't want to fly. It itself will start to come back to the cage. So that day, the person who hold the bird, get out of it, and the bird itself now on time come back to the cage. So who can rescue this bird? No one can rescue. So same like that, if you look very carefully yourself, you also, even though you are free, you always come back to the cage. That's your mental view, that is your opinions, that's your self-centered ideas, and that is sometimes your past experience, that is your history. And we depend on that, we like to do it, we're more comfortable with it. But if you look very carefully in the moment, the very reality that what you experience is not your history. But we always like to repeat. That repetition become our life. That repetition become our habit. That repetition become our journey. So then, this meditation also should not be a part of it. That is the important thing. Practicing meditation or any spiritual practice should not be a part of that habitual pattern or your repetition or your comfort zone. The spiritual practice itself should be challenged to deeper inside this habitual pattern. If there is no challenge, if there is no any kind of change that bring out of practice, remember that practice doesn't work. But most of time, even we go to any kind of place, worship place, a temple, church, or even that wherever the retreat place, that rather than we bringing the change to inside us, what we does, we find our comfort, we find our cage wherever we go. So this world not going to be enough for you. Even this entire universe not going to be enough for you. Why? Wherever you go with your own cage. You put it there. End of the day, you come back to it. So then look into that. And that is the very method of the Buddha's teaching. And when it comes to that teaching, it's called Dharma, not the Buddhism. It is totally different. This Buddhism came later. It is a different version of this whole practice. But when it comes to the Dharma, Buddha taught the Dharma. Whoever follows the Dharma can gain the liberation. So when it comes to Dharma, it's more deeply go with the realization. So to realize the Dharma, you have to look into it. The very method that you look, we call as meditation. And for that, in the beginning, we have to learn, we have to get the information how to do it. And then after that, you have to be free yourself. Even you should not bound to that, whatever the lessons that you got, and you have to take it as information, and then you have to practice yourself. If we teach something, just imagine who we are to teach to somebody. And why we have to teach to someone? Because as we know, another person means it's completely different person. And even though we know something or we experience something, why that person should need to follow it? Even when it comes to the very fundamental human rights and the qualities, that how even the parents or the teachers can force or put some kind of teachings to children. Oh, you have to do this. You can't do that. It's a violating, fundamental human qualities and the rights. So when it comes to meditation, remember, we can't tell, oh, you should do this. No. What we do, we share the informations, and we, out of that information, you have to remember, it is your personal choice yourself to look into your own life and see what is happening. If that life bring that whatever the things that you want, and it exactly bring the happiness and satisfaction to you, then why you have to practice meditation? No, but the thing is this, you know something and you learn something, and then out of that, all the personal wisdom that you already have in this conventional life, and you have hopes and you have effort to do something and bring something out of it, but it still doesn't work. And you see something as reality, you see something as truth, but still, end of the day, it's not going to be truth. So then you have to be very careful, and then you have to look into something. So the Dharma is the method that giving you certain tools to go beyond what you see. Because the very conventional life depends on believing what we believe. That's the thing. We believe what we see. You see is you are believing. Your hearing is your believing. Your smelling is your believing. Your sensation is your believing. Your thoughts is your believing. That is what you believe. You don't know beyond that. So that's why sometimes people say, oh, I saw that, believe me. You know, so seeing is a kind of like we think, oh, seeing is the qualification to believe. Oh, I heard it. You think, oh, that hearing is the qualification to believe. I knew that. I thought about it. Believe me. Sometimes people say that. So that means that whatever comes to your mind, another person should believe. So that is where we are. That's why we mess up our life. That's why things go wrong. Why? Because with hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, feeling, thinking, we limited our recognition, and we're going to believe, and then we're going to follow that. But when it comes to the Dharma, there is something more beyond that what you see. Because your seeing comes as a result of, in the moment of the perception, and at the same time with the help of your previous experience. So this previous experience part, your cankers, mental formations, you don't see. So it's kind of like the cage that you carry everywhere with you. So why you can't see it? Because you always depend on that. So then when it comes to meditation, what we do, we bring our awareness to our own inhalation, exhalation, and look that how fair that technique. And it is not something that giving any primary mental object, giving by somebody, okay, you do this. Even it's not about kind of like a, any symbol. So as example, if we say, okay, look at the Buddha statue, it's a kind of like, deeply we violate that the fundamental human rights. Why someone come to practice meditation? Why we have to give the Buddha statue? It is not fair. But there are some teachings, even the loving kindness. How we can say to just, the beginner, okay, do loving kindness to may all living beings be well and happy. Why we have to tell it to that person? If that person start to believe that what we say and start to do you think that person going to find the wisdom? No. But look, when it comes to the inhalation, exhalation, it's nothing to do with any kind of teachings. It is that person, it is your own inhalation, exhalation. It's nothing to do with any coloring or the hearing or it's nothing to do with any kind of religions. believing system. It is the very foundation of your life. So look into that. And when you look into that, observe it, remember not to violate it, bringing your past experience and put it to that moment. And just see it simply as inhalation, as exhalation. And you have 100% to yourself authority, and you have rights to yourself to observe your own life. See that you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to convert to anything. You just settle down as who you are in the moment with the experience that you go through. That means you're tuning to your own reality. So that is the foundation that you should keep always. If you don't have it, if you look for something else, remember, you itself, that in the very from the beginning, you disconnect from the reality. When you disconnect from your own reality, from where are you going to gain the liberation? So that's why practicing this meditation is build up kind of like a method for yourself to settle down, calm down. And once you develop this one-pointness or collective awareness within your own inhalation, exhalation, what happens? And the deeply you settle down, you come to the calmness, you have the balance, and at the same time you have the undisturbed mind. So once you have this undisturbed mind, what happens? The ability to see become more strong. That is one of the important things. The ability to see, ability to recognize, because we don't have it. Why? Because we used to caught up on this coloring, lighting objects. And that's why we say, oh, just seeing, we believe on the surface level. Just hearing with the perception, we believe. We have no ability to go beyond that. But once you enter into the tranquility state, once you have the undisturbed mind, that ability to see is different. It is not seeing kind of like seeing through eyes, because this is very limited. Now you have ability to go beyond the colors, go beyond the objects, go beyond the sound, go beyond the smell, and go and touch the depth of it. Very fundamental properties of the perception or the experience or the moment that you go through. That is what, once you have it, then believe that, because that is the reality. Tune into that. And once you have it, the angle you see, the point of that you see is going to change. Because now what we believe on the surface level with these objects and the perception, and then what happens, our point of view going to always depend with our personal experience and mixing with this and build up something else. It's only in our head. We carry it. But now the ability to see become more strong, and you can see more wider, larger area. And not only that, what happened? That the angle, the point of view, now in the moment, 3-dimension. But once you come to the tranquility state, it goes beyond that. So as example, like when you play billiard, there is a saying, angle, angle, angle. So once you point out something with your eye, you should not be hurried to hit the ball. And you have to go beyond the eye, and you have to see as from above you, how you see the angle. That's very deep technique. So the angle, that is the angle that what you see from your point of view, and the angle at the same time you have to see above you, how you see that angle. So then what happened? The wider space that you can catch. And then not only that, the angle, then that the beyond this all, then you can see whole table, and not only just the moment of hitting to the ball, the entire game and how you going to finish the game. See, once you capable to bring that all the three angles together, and you decide how to touch the ball. That is a kind of like, it's mesmerizing, with the angle, because you are very not bound to your angle. See, when you have the very tranquility state, that is a kind of like ability. I just gave a simile example, how that you get out of your own point of view, because we are caught up on that. That's why we very believing in what we see, hear, smell, taste. So that kind of way. And so once you get out of that, and once you have the very larger the scale, and you can see more far away the landscape, and then your vision become more sharp and clear, and it become more strong, and it has a depth. That is what we need. So through meditation, what happens? You bring that ability to see deeper within your own inner experience, not with the outside. In the beginning, you work with inside and ability to see. Then once you come to that, what happened? The inner structure that you carry, the cage, as I mentioned from the beginning, the cage that you carry, your own point of view, the self-centered mind, the idea of the self, the I am, and you are capable to change at any time. You are not bound to it. Otherwise, what happened most of the time in this very conventional life, we bound to our own self, and we bound to our own inner structure. We bound to our own mental views, and that's why we keep selling it to live our life. That is what we do. We sell ourselves, we sell our soul, we sell our mental view to maintain this life. Why? Because we are very trapped there, we can't get out of it. But through meditation, you get out of it, and that is why you gain the freedom inside you. Once you have that freedom, in any place, in anywhere, in any situation, in any environment, you have very kind of like a liquid mindset to transform, harness with the situation, rather than resisting and fighting. So I'll give a example for that. In Japanese samurai history, there was one of the greatest samurai, that his name is Yamamoto Musashi. And if you watch that very famous samurai movie, that in that movie, his character was one of the major character. So Yamamoto Musashi, he was one of the greatest warrior. And what is the ability he had? So there was a time, another 10 samurais challenge for him. And all his friends told, don't go, because you're going to die. They are very skillful, and they are very dangerous, deadly samurais. Don't go. Even 10. It's a trap. Maybe, you can't get out of it. But the Yamamoto Musashi, accept the invitation. And then this other part, they knew this Yamamoto Musashi had a habit to come late. Sometimes like us, sometimes go late, So this Yamamoto Musashi had a habit to go late. But that day, he went early. He went early and hid behind a tree and waiting for these samurais. And then all 10 samurais came and they sat, and they, released their sword and everything and told, Yamamoto going to be late. That is his habit. And we'll rest little bit for ourselves. And what they did, they put their sword and, took out their, all this tight cloth and everything and resting. And that very moment, this samurai came out and killed all the 10. And another time, there was another samurai. And he challenged the Yamamoto Musashi. And this samurai was very deadly and he had a very different weapon. And that weapon was a little bit longer, and underneath that weapon there was a kind of like an iron ball, and no one can reach to this samurai because of this iron ball keep protecting. And so that time Yamamoto Musashi went to this person, this samurai, and so that day Yamamoto Musashi had 2 swords. So that is why you may see, if you see the samurais, they have 3 swords. So that day this Yamamoto took 2 swords. So other person was shocked because he was waiting with the 1 sword, but now he having 2, and he don't know how to fight with 2. He knew only 1. So what happened that day? He died, and Yamamoto won the game. And another time, another warrior challenged Yamamoto Musashi. And then this Yamamoto Musashi accepted the challenge. And the whole city gathered to see how this fight going to happen. So that day, this warrior came, he was a kind of like a very skillful, and he had a very deadly sword. And that day, Yamamoto Musashi and everybody waiting. He's not there. And then this warrior was so mad because he was waiting. Yamamoto didn't come. See, remember, he had the ability to arrive late. So somehow, by the time, it took many hours. And after that, Yamamoto Musashi came wearing a very dirty towel on his head. And seeing that, other warrior got so mad, disappointed. It's kind of like a disrespecting to him. And at that day, Yamamoto didn't bring the iron sword. He came with the wooden sword, just a piece of wood, and he make it brush up, clear. But now this other warrior got so mad and disappointed, and he saw this dirty towel, and he got so mad and he thought, I'm going to hit his head. And he was targeting to his head, and Yamamoto Musashi gave the target, wearing that dirty towel, gave the target to him, and he knew he going to come to this target. And then this guy, the other person, hit the sword to the Yamamoto's head, and he little bit moved back, And then with the wooden sword, he killed the warrior. See, these three incidents in the Japanese samurai history, and even in the history of the war and fighting art, and at the same time in all the history of the samurai meditation, gave a kind of like the sign, or give a kind of like a foundation how to maintain yourself, your own mind with situations. Because we have a habit to repeat, we have no ability to change, even though we don't see. That's why not only one, the whole environment, we go as a current. Everyone, keep following. Everybody keep going each other the same way. Because of that, sometimes we caught up on the current ourselves. It is very difficult for us to back up and have a change. If everybody repeat, just imagine when the whole society repeat the same thing, what happened? All the children and the young people, what happened? They also start to go in that current. Same thing happened. So then when you want the change, it is very difficult. So that's why this meditation is bringing the ability for yourself to change. So that's why look at the ability of that Yamamoto Musashi. He didn't carry the same kind of a style himself. He had the ability to change according to that moment. That is the most difficult thing. Why? Because we hold it to our own passion, our own identity. We hold it to our own habit. It's very difficult for us to give up. That is what make the define our life. But when it comes to meditation, that the cultivation of the mind means you give up that, you build up a very brand new moment for yourself, rather than depending on your own history. So when you have the ability to settle down in the present moment and expand your awareness and get a bigger picture and see the angle, so like that, you gain your point of view, you change rather than hold it to it, and you getting a bigger picture above you, and see how things come to be as they are. And once you recognize that, you are capable to change it, to make it more profitable way. That is the skill that we develop. So once you recognize the causation, rather than go with it, you are capable to change it, to make it more profitable out of your bodily, verbally, mentally actions. And once you have that ability, remember yourself, you are ready to go this journey. And wherever you go, whatever the situations come, and yourself, you will be your own path, and you will experience your own life. You will experience the beauty wherever you go. And always remember, and when you have time, and you can find that the story about Yamamoto Musashi, many stories. If you have time, read it a little bit and get to understand and develop yourself that kind of skills in this very conventional life. Because you go to many people, you come to many situations, but always we hold it to our own, personal views. That is where we fail most of time. That's where our society fail, the culture fail, our country fail, the world, the entire world sometimes fail, because we have no ability to adapt. If you look a little bit the history, the 2-3 years, when the mask came, and when the vaccine came, and when the this pandemic situation came, the People had so much struggle, fight, different ideas regarding this change. So it is so deep. And even sometimes, even they die, they don't like to change. And they look for the luxury life. They sacrifice everything to have a luxury life. But when the day come for them to change for their own good, they don't do it. When it comes to luxury, remember, the life is the real luxury in this entire universe, the life you experience. So then, behalf of that luxurious gift that you have, when you have ability to change, take that step for yourself and move forward. And if you are capable to, in any situation, adapt and move forward, and you will see, and you will become kind of like Yamamoto Musashi, and always wherever you go, even that whatever the situation comes, and you will experience the luxurious gift that you have. You're not going to lose it. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring attention to your body, please, and scan head to toes 3 times yourself and say Swapatveva, oh, may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. When it happens through the sensation, recognize it, do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward, visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all six directions at once. Like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavatacha sampadam punya sampadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe sattanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhamma nudhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammam pujemi sangham pujemi Addaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam ha paribunjisami Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vang otu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.